Economic cooperation between Kazakhstan and Russia are marked by deep integration and beneficial cooperation. According to Russian ambassador to Kazakhstan, Alexei Borodavkin, the bilateral trade volume between Kazakhstan and Russia in 2018 is $19 billion based on preliminary results. The ambassador believes that the significant growth resulted from the establishment of the Eurasian Economic Union. Russia is Kazakhstan's main trading partner. High value-added goods dominate the bilateral trade pattern. Russian investors invested $821 million in Kazakhstan's processing industry in the first half of 2018. Moreover, there are nearly 6,000 Kazakh-Russian enterprises.
Наши инвестиции в Казахстан в районе накопленные инвестиции за многие годы достигнут 13,5 миллиардов.
The Russian investments to Kazakhstan accumulated over the years will soon reach the value of $13.5 billion, while Kazakh investments to Russia total about $3.5 billion. Moreover, the two economies of Russia and Kazakhstan are deeply integrated, which is evidenced by the fact that every third business in Kazakhstan is a Russian-invested enterprise.
Казахстан – это то, что каждое третье казахстанское совместное предприятие с участием российского капитала.
The oil and gas industry plays an important role in the cooperation between the two countries. Russia is interested in developing mineral fields at the Caspian Sea, improvement of fuel quality, transit of Kazakhstan oil to foreign markets, and the shipment of the latest technological equipment.
У нас хорошо развивается сотрудничество по освоению космоса в рамках программы Байтарек.
Our cooperation in space exploration as part of the Baitarek program is developing well. We also cooperate on peaceful use of the atomic energy. There is a progress in our cooperation in transport sector. There are profound prospects after the Aktau summit on the Caspian Sea in the energy sector, transportation and tourism.
После Актауского саммита по Каспию на Каспийском море и в области энергетики, в области транспорта, в области туризма.
Kazakhstan and Russia cooperate in education as some 70,000 Kazakh students study in Russian universities. The countries also establish close cultural cooperation. Tehran plans to import grain from Kazakhstan. Ministries of Agriculture of Kazakhstan, Russia and Iran have concluded a tripartite memorandum on cooperation in wheat trading. The memorandum is designed for 5 years. It complements the agreement on a free trade zone between the Eurasian Economic Union and Iran, which was signed last year. Experts say that the Iranian business is very interested in importing Kazakh and Russian wheat for further processing and export. Tehran is drawing its attention to Kazakhstan's high-quality wheat in order to further process it. We plan to use some of the wheat for our needs and process the balance and send it to Afghanistan, Syria and Iraq. The figures and amounts of deliveries are not clear. However, we Iranian entrepreneurs are confident that there will be a considerable demand. Today, our neighbors are one of the world leaders in consumption of grain and flour. 3 years ago, Iran imposed restrictions on import of wheat into the country. Prior to this, Kazakhstan and Russia had been active wheat exporters to Iran. Today, Iran produces nearly 12 million tons of grain per year, and the processing capacity in the country is twice as high. This year, the country is going to import 1 million tons of wheat from Kazakhstan. The agreements with Astana will be wider than they were before. First, it is the export of high-quality wheat to the Iranian market. Secondly, transit and export of the wheat to third-world countries, which will allow not only Iran but also Kazakhstan to become a popular exporter in the region. Such cooperation is undoubtedly beneficial for both Kazakhstan and Iran. Kazakh officials presented Kazakhstan's investment opportunities to French businessmen. The delegation of the Kazakh embassy in France held business meetings and visited enterprises in the French Normandy region. The Kazakh officials visited the famous Camembert cheese factory. Local producers believe that one day Camembert will be produced in Kazakhstan.
Des experts ou des professionnels de
I believe that experts and professionals from the Orne department will visit Kazakhstan to learn about the local developments and identify the ways to build cooperation and possibly help improve the technologies.
de vous, mais aussi coopérer et améliorer les filières.
The factory experts make camembert by hand. This technique allows the producers to preserve the production technology of the cheese in industrial scales. Local experts believe that Kazakhstan and France share many similarities. Agriculture is highly dependent on the government support in both countries.
Nous, je sais qu'en Chine, ça développe de plus en plus la consommation de...
We know that the consumption of dairy products and camembert in particular is growing in China. We are interested in the Chinese market. I don't know much about the Kazakh market, which sanitary norms are similar to the Russian standards. Our strategy is to satisfy the European demand and go beyond afterwards.
On avait un petit peu dans la stratégie d'abord.
The French cheesemakers will have a chance to learn more about the Kazakhstan's agricultural industry this summer. Kazakh diplomats invited the French cheesemakers and other food producers to attend the French Kazakh Agricultural Forum, which will be held in the French city of Rennes. A new sugar factory will be built in Shu district in Zhambyl region at a cost of 80 billion tenge. The government allocated land and prepared the design and cost estimate documentation. 1/3 of the costs will be funded by investors and 70% from the second-tier banks. This year, 9,500 hectares of sugar beet are planned to be sowed. The government will provide a 25% subsidy from the Republican budget and 10% subsidy from the regional budget for the purchase of sowing equipment. The sugar plant is expected to manufacture 8,000 tons of sugar per day.
Если процентное содержание, скажем, в корнеплодах
On average, sugar beets contain about 18% of sugar. Usually, sugar factories extract about 12% of sugar from sugar beets. But modern factories, with the latest equipment, are capable of extracting up to 15% to 16% sugar from sugar beets, which will result in higher yields.
15-16%. Это даст большой объем производства сахара.
This year, 23 investment projects worth 115 billion tenge will be implemented in Zhambyl region, with 65 billion tenge to be contributed by foreign investors. The local authorities attracted investment in agriculture, manufacturing, trade and tourism industries. The projects will help improve the export capacity of local enterprises with its successful implementation. This year, 10 projects will be commissioned in our region. Agricultural sector has the most projects, with 5 projects worth 2.5 billion tenge, and there is 1 project in trade sector with the highest value. Another 13 projects worth 96 billion tenge are expected to be implemented next year. The concept of transitioning to a green economy is being successfully implemented in the Turkistan region. A solar power plant with a capacity of 20 megawatts is being built in the Sarıagaş district. There is a joint project between local and German companies. The plant will be built on 42 hectares of land. Experts believe that the green technology will play a very important role in production of electricity in Kazakhstan. Currently, metal structures for modules have been installed at the construction site. More than 77,000 photoelectric modules, 10 inverters and transformers, as well as 10 switch gears will be installed soon.
The
Kazakh company and German investors are implementing the project together. The total investment amounts to $35 million. The main feature of the project is that the photovoltaic modules necessary for the operation of the plant are made of silicon, which is extracted here. The new plant for the production of green energy will be launched in March this year. President of Kazakhstan, Nazarbayev, set a goal of increasing the share of renewables to 10% by 2030 and to 50% by 2050. Kazakh youth is contributing to the scientific development. A high school student, Zhansaya Oralbekova, created an affordable model of a mini space center. The student used a construction set and a 3D printer in her development. According to the young innovator, her innovation can result in the opening of observatories in every school.
Biz тек қана өзіміздің химияда айтқандай өзіміздің қазынамызды ғана қолданбай.
We should focus on the subsoil exploration and the space development as well, because there are so many interesting developments out there. If observatories open in every school in Kazakhstan, it will be a great opportunity for many students. Each student will be able to use their knowledge in math, physics, and chemistry. I believe that these researchers will be important and valuable.
Болашақта әлеммен танысу үшін осындай кішкентай шағын оқу орындары болса керемет деп ойладым.
Students from Almaty created an innovative unit to grow plants in spacecraft and space stations. Alina Makasheva and Nargis Seysek use light hydrogels, which do not require water and maintenance, instead of soil. The device is shaped as a hexagonal prism filled with honeycombs. According to the young developers, the shape allows to significantly save space. The devices are equipped with artificial lighting and sensors, measuring the plant's development and the environment in the equipment. Ventilation, pressure, and humidity are also regulated inside the prism.
Өсіп жатқан өсімдіктеріміз біз ол қысқа мерзімде өседі. Олар тек қана 2 немесе 3 апта.
For our project, we chose fast-growing plants which are easy to maintain. They grow by 10 or 15 centimeters in just 2 or 3 weeks. What's more important, the plants save their useful nutrients by 40% to 50% and contain vitamins A, B, C, D, and E, which are very important and useful for the health of astronauts.
Дәрумендерді қолдана отырып, ғарыштағы ғарышкерлер өздерінің денсаулықтарын жақсарта алады.
We chose plants such as peas, lettuce, and others for our research. 100 grams of plants contain more protein than 100 grams of meat. There is no doubt that these plants will be useful for astronauts who do not get enough nutrients in the space. At the moment, there is only one analog in the world used by NASA. However, we identified a number of disadvantages of their device and developed a better unit based on our research.
И на основе этих недостатков мы выделили самый лучший способ.
Tajikistan attracted a total of $645 million foreign direct investments in 2018. More than half of the amount, specifically $326 million, is used for the development of several sectors, such as education, energy, transport, and agriculture. In the next 3 years, the Tajik government plans to attract nearly $777 million in order to implement investment projects. Uzbekistan and Asian Development Bank have held discussions on the ways to strengthen cooperation and technical collaboration. The discussion includes areas on public-private partnership, energy, transport, agriculture, and the improvement of public procurement system and regulatory legal acts. Having noted the importance of developing the public-private partnership, representatives of the ADB highlighted the need to take additional measures to support investment projects. Kyrgyzstan started exporting honey to China. Currently, the country exports cotton, wool, ores, chemical products, and precious metals to China. In 2018, the volumes of exports amounted to $61 million. Footwear, clothing, synthetic fabrics, and food are imported from China. Last year, goods worth $2 billion were imported. In 2019, an Uzbek company intends to increase the volume of exports of automobiles and spare parts by almost 5 times. This year, the figures will reach almost $120 million. The export growth will be achieved through issuing new models and developing new markets. In 2019, the Uzbek manufacturer of automobiles will begin deliveries to Afghanistan. Musical Notre de Paris in Kazakh will be played in Central Asian countries. In the next 3 years, Kazakh artists will perform in Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Azerbaijan. The Kazakh version of Notre Dame de Paris will retain the original storyline and famous music compositions, which have become hits. All costumes for the performances were made in Kazakhstan. More than 70 actors, singers, dancers, and acrobats are involved in the musical. The world-famous musical was enjoyed by more than 11 million spectators. The musical was performed in the Kazakh language for the first time, which is a success for Kazakhstan and Central Asia as well. Our main goal is to show the world's best performances to the young people. A legendary love story, Notre de Paris is one of the most popular and recognized musicals. The musical was included in the Guinness Book of Records as the most successful performance. Kazakh artists will present other musical works to foreign spectators. They are set to demonstrate their vocal and dancing skills to the world public.
Жастар театры жастар жылында көптеген жоспарларды қолға алып отыр, әсіресе мюзикл жанрын қолға алып отыр.
We are planning to stage a performance about the Kazakh hero Karakipchak Koblandy. We want to pay more attention to the musical genre and show Kazakh performances both in Kazakhstan as well as Asian and European countries.
Қазағымыздың спектакльдерін мюзикл жанрында әдемілеп көрсету мақсатында дайындық үстіндемін.
An online museum of sacred sites of West Kazakhstan region was launched in a 3D format. The list includes 10 most famous tourist sites such as Bokeyorda Historical Museum Complex, Dadiem Ata Holy Site, and Alashorda headquarters in Zhambyl. The online program helps tourists to choose the convenient route, the type of transportation, as well as accommodation and food facilities. The site provides information on the available services and prices. The project is being implemented as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program.
Мында деген бүкілдеген мұражайлар бар, бүкілдеген жаңағы туристік орындар бар, өзендер бір жыл бұл.
All museums, tourist destinations, rivers and lakes in the region are included in the web service. The online map will be regularly updated to include more sites. Our goal is to provide information to foreign tourists.
Көріп, сосын деген сол деген танымал жер қылып, өзіміздің облысымызды көрсету.
Mangystau regional officials are planning to organize field trips for students as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program. The students will spend summer holidays in yurts to learn about the nomads' culture and lifestyle. They will be introduced to secrets of cooking national dishes. Workshops will be conducted on manufacturing wooden utensils and weaving kamchi. Visitors who are interested will be able to learn the skills of eagle hunting and visit the Karatau Ridge. Besides locals, foreigners also visit Koges. Last year, 1,200 travelers visited the ethno village. This year, the village is waiting for twice as many tourists compared to last year.
5 юрт у нас с кроватями, вот для тех людей.
We have 5 yurts with beds inside. People who don't feel comfortable to sleep on the floor are mostly foreigners, Europeans, and even Japanese. Other than this, everything is based on national style, which has started in 2016. Everything wasn't finished at that time, so it's difficult to conclude. However, in 2017, there were more than 700 people, specifically 724 visitors. In 2018, the number of visitors reached 1,200, and these are the people who spent the night. We do not include people who came just to visit and went to the restaurant.
Приезжал просто в гости, гулял, и, конечно, не считаем всех тех, кто пользовался услугами ресторана.
Kazakhstan's first president's library held a ceremony to open a series of cultural events and exhibitions. To mark the Year of the Youth, the library is planning to hold a number of major projects aimed at supporting creative young people. One of the projects is a competition of artwork in the genres of painting, drawing, sculpture, and decorative arts.
Конкурс, который мы объявляем под названием «Молодость Великой Степи».
We announced an art contest titled The Youth of the Great Steppe. The competition is aimed at creative people. There is a youth category between 18 and 35 years old and a professional artists category of 36 years old and above. Our contest will be held throughout the year. We will announce the results for the youth category on Astana Day, July 6.
Конкурса для молодых, то есть от 18 до 35 лет.
Artists in the above 36 years category will create paintings on the topic of modern youth of Kazakhstan through the eyes of artists. The results will be announced before the Independence Day. The best paintings will be included in the contest's catalog, and their creators will be offered to hold personal exhibitions in the First President's library.